Welcome back to Crib Reactions. It is your host, Chico Grande, aka Papa O'Block. And with me, as always,
The famous one, the chosen one. Like Goku said, it's your boy, Felix Supreme 305 on Twitter. I almost forgot my name. I
but
almost
when
forgot my
did
name.
Goku say it's Felix Supreme
Listen
305
here.
on Twitter?
When you got that, listen here, when you're a chosen one,
Oh my god.
not a frozen one.
But we're coming in hot, and we got another reaction video for you. We're gonna break down
Episode
Andor episode 7
7, baby.
with Star Wars Theory. He's gonna show us the way. Check out his channel in the description, Star Wars Theory on YouTube. But for whatever reason, we're wearing Dragon Ball Z shirts on Star Wars Day, but it goes anyway.
Hey,
Oh, Star Wars Theory also does Dragon Ball Z videos.
and also it's laundry day, so you gotta let me make it.
No, they're shaming you. They said, "Where's your Kylo Ren shirt?" But let's go ahead and get the show started, and let's see what Theory has to say.
Hey guys, welcome back to another breakdown video. Tonight we're going to be covering episode 7, and this was by far my favorite episode of Andor.
Really?
I'm really starting to feel like this is very
favorite.
developed now, and I don't know if that's because of all the slower episodes that came before, or because the story is now really starting to pick up and dive deep into the Star Wars mythos and lore. I first want to give a big shout out to all of you listening on Spotify right now. You guys have been doing a great job and enjoying the podcasts. I'm really happy about it. And a big shout out to everyone at the watch party last night on YouTube. So, man, what an awesome episode. While the show was slow, I feel things are really paying off, and the level of focus on how the Empire will deal with this act of theft is something that is really interesting to me. And of course, this act of theft is really the beginning of the rebellion. I'm really digging it. I think seeing this side of the Empire is something that I really want to dive into and learn more about. How are they going to deal with...
So this must be like when, I guess he likes it. This is like, and do you like this episode also?
I thought it was okay. I mean, of course, I didn't think it was near as good as the Heist episode.
That's what I was saying, but I
I
mean,
like the action.
but I mean, I guess this one has more of like a background story of it, and that's why I really didn't understand what was like why it went. The episode went real fast. First off,
I think it was one of the shorter episodes, but you know, it was really more into like the inner workings and how the Empire reacts. I like how they went into the I don't know, what do you call this, meeting room, and that one dude tried to throw her under the bus immediately.
of course, man, you can't be out here breaking rules all willy nilly. If everybody's out here breaking rules all willy nilly, how would there be any order?
There wouldn't be. Let's continue.
with this, and it seems like they're very aggressive, and namely because of the fact that Yularen himself spoke with Palpatine. So we got a lot to talk about. Let's get right into it. So here we
How does it always happen? We stop it, we talk.
And then they want to hit us with the ad. We're doing no ads here. We're definitely gonna spare you. But let's continue with what he was talking about.
start off with Cyril, and he's looking kind of depressed, gazing out the window again on Hosnian Prime as he gets called by his mother and makes
Jobless.
a bowl of space cereal with blue
Unemployed.
milk.
I don't understand why we keep on focusing on this dude. Like, he messed up, he got fired, and then like we're just watching him like pout at his house. Like, I don't understand what's going on.
He just taking double L's everywhere. He taking L's at he lost his job. Now he back at his mama house. His mama over wondering when he gonna get a girl. And then now he over here got to work for his uncle. He got to do it. Didn't he get like recommended for a job for his, with his
Yeah,
uncle?
I think that's what happened. Something with his uncle. But I don't understand.
And
There's
nothing's
no-
really changed. She's
there's no
just
point in
chewing
this.
him out, really dogging him.
Like,
he
what
has
is-
his
what
clothing
does this have
tailored,
to do
he
with
says,
Andor?
for his interview with his uncle's new job, and he overhears the
watch this. How did I
theft
know
on
that?
TV that Cassian led against the Empire. And Cyril starts to realize and think that Cassian was the one behind this. It's still tough to distinct whether Cyril is going to be for the rebellion or work for the Empire. The ISB, the Imperial Security Bureau, holds a meeting, and there is someone speaking. Now, this is a very big character for those who are new to Star Wars. This is Admiral Yularen from the Clone Wars, now Colonel Yularen, who, yes, did fight for both sides. So during the Clone Wars, he was Admiral Yularen, and he fought against the Confederacy of Independent Systems. We saw him in the Clone Wars, and he worked alongside Anakin Skywalker. He later, of course, as we see now, joined the Empire as Colonel and worked very closely alongside Grand Admiral Thrawn. He later passed with Governor Tarkin and everyone else on the first Death Star when it blew up during the Battle of Yavin in Episode 4. Yularen threatens and says that 5 times the amount stolen from Aldhani, so the 80 million credits, will be levied on a planet harboring the rebels, and that any kind of rebel activity will receive the full power of the Emperor's fist. He spoke with Palpatine last night, who is now fully aware of this insurgence and initial rebellion. He has given the ISB full power and authority to act on this matter and shut down the activists and anyone else who should follow suit. He says no one in this room should have trouble accessing Army or Navy resources in the future. This means Palpatine has really given them full power to do what they want in bringing down these rebels.
So they basically, since they broke in and did that, they got free reign to break all the rules. So now, like, you thought the Empire was bad before. They're tapping everyone's phone lines. They're reading everyone's texts. They're seeing all your dirty Snapchat messages.
Oh man, I want to get out of this. I mean, and then, like, I guess, but they don't know that it was Andor. They still don't know who did it yet. They just know it was the band of rebels. But then the guy that was
involved with the case, I think there has to be a reason they're following him. Like, he's eventually gonna be like, I know who did this. I tried to arrest him before, and I got in trouble for trying to arrest him, and now y'all trying to arrest him. So who's really the bum now? I should have been the leader from set go, but it really could have all been avoided if he didn't jump the gun. I don't know, but who knows if it'll come back and help him. I wonder, because it looks like later in this episode they show him just working at his desk and that he hates it. So I think he's going to want to do something a little more spicy, and I think he might get involved to try to track down Cassian.
So while Palpatine is busy, he is pissed that this has happened. It looks sloppy to him, the Empire looks like a joke now, and it creates an opening of hope for those willing to do the same. The Emperor will also hold an emergency Senate meeting that will basically give the ISB full authority to do as they please in seizing anyone they think might be involved in what just happened on Aldhani. Luthen listens on his radio and gets intel that the Empire is actually freaking out regarding what just happened, and he loves it. Mon Mothma visits him at his shop, and they continue to play dumb as if she's wanting to purchase more gifts for her husband as the driver stays outside.
Gifts she gonna get?
Now they do this because the driver is a hired spy, as we learned later, working with the Grand Vizier, or working for the Grand Vizier. Now the Grand Vizier is Mas Amida. He is Palpatine's right-hand man during the prequels and now well into the days of the Empire.
Crazy.
He's also a lot in the comics and everything, so that he's very prominent. We actually see him leaving Palpatine's office when Yoda enters to kick Palpatine's butt, and then of course, kind of lose. Mon Mothma can't believe that Luthen was behind the theft, but he sets her straight and tells her that this was needed. At 9:01, around there, we can see what looks like the Jedi Temple Guard's helmet. However, I can't really be too sure with how blurred it is, but we do see Plo Koon's rebreather mask, which serves as a rebreather for anyone of the Keldor species. I did cover all these in the original breakdown for the first 3 episodes. However, I can split that off and make that into its own episode if you so wish. Mon Mothma says Palpatine won't hesitate now, and we can see her fear in his power, as Luthen tells her this is exactly what we need, that the Empire...
You know why she's scared? Because her own daughter and husband are going to turn her in. They hate her, so they're going to be the first ones to switch up. Watch.
I mean, but she had nothing to do with it.
No, but she's like a part of it. She's like with him starting the rebels. Like, she didn't even, her daughter didn't even like her.
She's always working.
Yeah, because she's always working. See, and then they're going to be like, oh, it's because mom's a rebel.
And see, I didn't even know that they had a spy watching her. And I mean, now
it makes sense.
Now it all makes sense. It's now starting to make sense.
I mean,
now.
That dude kind of did seem fishy. I always assumed he was a spy, but now that we know for sure, and that he was working with Palpatine's right-hand man, I forget his name, but the crazy-looking dude with the horns. I want to see him on film. They need to have him in the show. But let's continue.
Empire needs to overreact over this, and in doing so, the people will rise up and push back even more. He says the Empire has been squeezing them so slowly that people are starting to not even notice. So she takes off, and Coruscant is looking as beautiful as ever. Cyril joins his new job, the Bureau of Standards. Now, this is a place that focuses on the measurements of numbers and time and just kind of file keeps everything. A lot of boring work, it seems to me, but it also seems like they are pretty powerful, as Cyril tells his boss, or the manager here, what he got fired for from Primo, which was the kind of security mall cop kind of job that he had before. And the boss says that he could wipe his record a bit and clean it up. So clearly they have some authority. Luthen's assistant meets up with Vel, and they discuss what needs to be done regarding Cassian, that he needs to be found and terminated. They don't.
This didn't make sense to me, because it felt like that Luthen got all that information to like have Cassian as a member, maybe even use him later if he was successful. But like, why are they? I wonder if this is Luthen's ideas or the girl's idea that like we got to take out any loose ends and take out. You think he'd turn on Cassian like that?
Of course, you never trust people like him.
The fake boutique dealer.
Want loose ends, and to eliminate any trail back to Luthen and the rest. They need to get rid of him should he ever be captured by the Empire. So this is quite interesting, since they're now going to headhunt Cassian down. But as we know, with how the episode ended, he's in jail now. To which I ask the question, of course, how does he get out? But even bigger than that,
that's
who
so
does he
crazy.
meet?
And that's the one thing about jail. Like, you never go to jail for the main thing that you did. It's always like some random thing that you go to jail for. Like you get put up for a speeding ticket and say, "Oh, looks like you had a warrant back in such and such."
It's time to take that ride.
And that was crazy. Hopefully he ain't. Is he getting out already?
What?
Him going to jail.
Oh yeah, let's see.
And who does it lead him to? So Cassian has the Empire on him, and now Luthen's people on him too. We see Cinta is alive as well, as she uncovers a speeder bike and observes a massive Imperial Star Destroyer gliding overhead. So they're now on Aldhani and ready to crack down,
knows what happens.
and they're investigating all Imperial workers and interrogating them, trying to find any spies, any leads, any rats. Cassian goes back home to Ferrix and tries to convince his mother Marva to leave with him, as he now has enough money from the heist to survive and get them out of there. She originally agrees, but of course we see that she's going to change her mind, and it leads to a very emotional scene with clone troopers. Mon Mothma rubs elbows at this party, and she meets an old friend at this political sort of gathering.
Who was that?
And she rubbed his elbow the hardest.
You know who's supposed to be?
This is like, I think they said it was her childhood friend. They went to school together, but I think she's recruiting him to be in the rebellion. He's going to get more into it.
Which includes Imperials as well. She meets with Tay. Now, this is an old school friend from when they were kids. She tries to tell him about what she's been up to and that she needs money and for him to join her. That the Empire sees her as a nuisance, but nothing more really, and that they don't as of yet have a clue what she's up to. Now, of course, she's referring to the rise of the rebellion that she's creating, which Tay has no idea.
How much money do they need? I mean, they just stole all that. Like, what is it? Like they
40,
said, like
81 million?
Some crazy number, like so many units payroll, and then she's still asking for more. What are they trying to build?
Idea about, and she doesn't really get to finish telling him as her husband interrupts. She says something I really liked. It was something along the lines of, "Focus on the stone in my hand and you miss the knife that I put to your throat." This is really awesome. She's very focused on being an annoying fly in the Senate, and she's fine with that. But that's not a real threat. She wants to pretend to start a Chandrilan charity program, which will require meetings. To the Empire, it'll look like just a charity or nothing. But to her, and whoever else is going to be joining, it'll obviously be about the rebellion. Her husband arrives, and she tells Tay not to tell him that he can't be trusted. This I also really liked, because it really drives home the fact that the Empire has people, eyes and ears literally everywhere, including spouses who will betray you. We await an answer on whether or not he's in to join her on this mysterious ask, but I'm sure that he'll give in and trust his old friend later on. I kind of have a bad feeling that he's probably going to be killed, but we'll see what happens. Cassian,
You can't let him get murked.
That's how it always happens.
visits his ex-girlfriend Bix, and she isn't too happy to see him.
Bix was a Bix, if you know what I'm
She
saying.
was messed up.
He pays his 12K debt to her, and he leaves on a bit of a cold note, and they kind of just go their separate ways. She seems sad about it, but not sad enough to stop him. As he walks through the town, he sees stormtroopers and gets a flashback of the clone troopers 13 years ago, how they were marching through the town and having stones thrown at them by the villagers. This was when Cassian's dad, Clem, is trying to stop it as the clones turn around on orders and aim at him and the others throwing stones. We, in another flashback, see him.
Cassian is he's adopted, fool.
Oh,
remember he got saved as a kid, and it was the woman his mom was like a researcher, and I guess this was another researcher that was her husband.
Yeah, I remember that.
So it's like that's his parents.
He thought we black
in spirit.
I forgot. Yeah, you remember? Yeah, that's when they went in the ship and everything, and he was all touching stuff and breaking stuff.
Yeah.
Him hanging there. So clearly the Empire made an example of this type of behavior. They're cutthroat, they're evil, they're very hardcore, and this was to let the village people see this daily, that this is what happens if you don't obey the Empire. It was very hard for Marva to see this, and of course for Cassian to see his dad like this. This is post Revenge of the Sith. This is about 2 years after Revenge of the Sith, if this is 13 years ago, and Cassian Andor takes place 5 years before Episode 4. This is obviously after Order 66 has controlled the minds of the clone troopers. We can see that. And they are still here at this point because the Empire is still using clone troopers before they switch over to a broader, less tactile, less trained version called Imperial Stormtroopers. We see just how militant clones have become, which is much like in that scene during Attack of the Clones before the Clone Wars show came out and kind of humanized them. Marva decides to stay. She says the rebellion has brought her hope and that she's not afraid anymore. She gives a powerful speech of how she had avoided the square for 13 years where Clem was hung. This means the scene with the clones happened 2 years after Revenge of the Sith. We see a flashback of Cassian as a teenager angrily trying to take on clone troopers with a baton as they raise their blasters on him. This is the last of the flashback we get, and the outcome of this scenario is unknown as of this time, but I'm hoping that we get to see more as the episodes continue.
Maybe did hit him
Marva says that she can't beat them if she runs away, and this is a great line. It makes me think of Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi, and how him running away just was even more of a mistake from a writing perspective, and just not like Luke. Marva decides to stay, and Cassian decides to leave. She tells him to stop searching for his sister, that there were no survivors on Kenari, and that he shouldn't blame himself for her death or for what happened with the attack on his village. If they didn't kidnap him, he'd have been dead along with his people. Now, are they actually dead, or is she just saying this? I guess we'll find out. Blevin grills and calls out Dedra publicly at the table at the ISB, where she promises
they were being so snooty. He's like, I want to bring to your attention that this little lady's been out of pocket.
She ever acting all willy-nilly, acting all loosey-goosey.
To provide hard evidence and facts regarding her thesis that the rebels were on Ferrix, and they are actually stealing a lot of high-level Imperial equipment to form some sort of a rebellion. Partisan promotes Dedra to the case finally and sees that her passion for finding these rebels is quite evident, finally giving her the chance that she wanted, and this of course rubs it in Blevin's face, who sort of gets demoted on the task, which was great. Partagaz mentions Ord Mantell, and now Ord Mantell, I'll briefly say, was the home base for the Shadow Collective, which was Darth Maul's gang. There was a massive battle against the CIS. Count Dooku, Grievous, Palpatine, they were all involved in the Son of Dathomir comic run, which covered Maul's story right after Season 5 of the Clone Wars, where he was captured by Palpatine after their epic lightsaber fight in Season 5 with Savage Opress and Maul versus Palpatine, to which of course Savage Opress was killed by the Emperor. Andor is on...
Killed Maul's brother. Yeah, that was crazy. I remember that. That was from the animated series, so... some of the stuff that he's mentioning now, you had to watch the Clone Wars. Maybe we'll make my co-host watch all the Clone Wars, all 7 seasons.
7 seasons?
Yeah. You better strap yourself in.
Is that a movie?
No,
TV show?
Yeah, it's an animated TV show.
Oh, okay, the anime version. Okay, I think I've seen some of them.
Tropical paradise, Miami style. This place is called
Miami
Niamos, and he seems to have found a girlfriend or a friend who
Friend.
calls him Keef. So he's clearly using a new name or an
Chief
alias to
Keef
hide
Sosa.
from the Empire, and of course Luthen, as he grabs some credits out of his secured box. He heads to get some groceries and snacks where he sees some people running away from sand troopers of the Empire. He starts to feel a little paranoid and jogs a bit out of there because he doesn't want to be seen. And this is what gets him taken by the Empire as they try to brand him as part of the runners who did whatever they did to get captured. And of course we see some
"You know what you
K2SO
did."
droids running after them. He's choked out by one of the droids, where we see Cassian next in court, and he's sentenced to 6 years for anti-imperial speech and vandalism. Cyril scans his computer hard at work, and we get the end of the episode. So by far, this was my favorite episode.
like
I really
cubicles.
love
I
the
hate
music,
cubicles.
the
It's like
tone, the
the
pacing. I think it was really cool, and of course,
This was like the least action out of. I think only movie that had less action than this was episode 3. When I think it was like episode 3.
Yeah, it was episode 3, I think. Yeah, this show's been pretty slow. And according to statistics, that this show hasn't really been performing well. I think they made a lot of people mad with the Obi-Wan show because a lot of people expected it to be better than it was. And it really only got saved by the last episode, where the last episode was really great, but a lot of the other episodes were mediocre.
Nothing's better than the Boba Fett show. Baby Yoda.
No, yeah, Mandalorian. We can't wait for the Mandalorian needs to come back.
Isn't
That's
one
the
coming
best
out
show.
real soon?
It's supposed to come out, I believe, in January.
Which one's coming out today?
Tales of the Jedi. It's an animated one.
Oh, we might have to check that out.
It's like 6 animated shorts. I think they're each like 10 to 15 minutes
Oh, they
each.
dropping all 6 at one time?
Yeah.
Oh, that's easy. Can't wait to watch it. But y'all need to, before we move on, y'all need to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and check out the main page, Tales from the Crib. Link gonna be in the bio in the description below.
We
Check
just
it
dropped
out.
a new episode. It was amazing. My costume was amazing.
And that
Let's
was
just
the money.
say you can call me Mr. Big Head.
I should have been Werewolf Batman still. I'm so mad about that.
No, that character had to stay in the vault where he belongs. But let's continue.
course, the nods to all of the different characters. Yularen showing up, Emperor Palpatine was name dropped so many times, and everyone's fearful of him. Everyone is aware of him. The Grand Vizier, Mas Amida, Cassian's sister was mentioned, and of course we got to see Bix again, who he told
little
if she
Bix.
ever sees Luthen again to tell him just to forget about him. So clearly he's worried that Luthen is going to come after him. Now, I think Cyril will work with Cassian and be part of the rebellion soon. He's kind of turning out to be like a good guy. He's humanized a lot, you know, and with his mother and all of those scenes. So I don't think that they would make him an evil doer or
thought
part of
he would
the
be a
Empire or
villain-
anything
a
like
villain.
that. I think he's going to be a good guy, or he's
Trying
going
to
to
get his
help.
payback.
Yeah, I thought he was going to try to get his payback on Cassian because Cassian kind of ruined his life. What do you? So, do you agree, or do you with theory, or are you with me?
What? That's the
That you
best
think
episode
this
ever?
guy's going to try to get his get back,
Oh, he's gonna get no. I think
or do you think he's going to be a friend?
I think Cassian's going to like magic. They just gonna magically end up in the same spot at the same time, and then they're
So-
gonna duke it out. Cause you made him lose his job.
Yeah. And then what if he's like his guard, and then he ends up becoming friends with him?
Yeah,
Maybe that's what happens.
there's so much
Who
stuff
knows?
going
This
on.
is going to be weird. Who knows? What if we follow this guy all this time, and then he finally sees Cassian, he's like, "I got you," and then Cassian's already like reprogrammed a K2SO droid, and it just smushes this dude's head in, and you're like, "We watched him this whole time for him to just get murked like that."
Yeah, what if that happens? That'd be
There was some movies like that. There was this one cop movie I watched back in the day, and I think it had was it Brad? No, it wasn't Brad Pitt, but it had a lot of famous actors, and you follow this guy this whole movie, and then he basically comes out of an elevator, and as soon as the elevator door opens, he gets shot in the face, and you're like, I just followed this character for 2 hours, and then he just goes out the wrong elevator and gets shot in the face. Like, what is this? But it was crazy because the story just continued. They just followed like the other people on what was going on. But let's wrap this up. But that's crazy.
Help Cassian in some sort of way. Maybe he's going to wipe Cassian's slate clean. I don't really know what's going to happen, but he's obviously in this place of power where he can now do a lot of good for the rebellion by wiping records or changing things up. I think Cassian will meet someone important in jail, and this will lead him to Saw Gerrera, which will form now, seriously, the rebellion. I'm still curious as to how Luthen knows so much about Cassian. I think the show...
Yeah, that's Forrest Whitaker.
He's going to be in this episode, you think?
Well, they said he might be. He was in Rogue One. That would be a nice surprise.
A lot of questions, but also raised a ton of questions and left us on the edges of our seats for episode 8, which comes out next week. Now, next week, I'm going to be doing a watch party for Tales of the Jedi, which will be 6 episodes all dropping at once. I'm very stoked for this. Very, very excited for it. Now, I think I will probably do a watch party for Cassian Andor afterwards because I have to get the breakdown up. So if you guys want, you can watch that with me. Otherwise, I will be doing the Tales of the Jedi video first, and then we'll be doing the watch party for Andor episode 8 right after. Thanks so much for watching this breakdown video.
Thank you, Theory, for making it.
Thank you for making it more. Thank you for making it make more sense to me. I mean, I didn't like this whole episode 7, but after he explained it and the fact that she getting spied on and supposedly this is
it's like a start of a million different things.
A start of a whole bunch of different things. And then my dog Cassian got 6 years in the pen
just for talking back,
just for walking fast.
Yakety yak, don't talk.
He should have just sat down.
But what do you rate this episode? 1
7
out of 10. 7.
7.5.
That's what I was gonna say.
7.5 or 7.
7.5.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we're on the same page there. 7.5's around.
And how many episodes is this in the series?
12.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we got that, and so we got episode 8 coming out tonight, but I'm probably gonna watch it with Theory, so I'm probably gonna watch Tales of the Jedi first, and then the new Andor episode. It's gonna be a long night, baby.
Oh Lord,
it's gonna be a long night, baby. Follow me on Twitter at Papa O'Block. I will live tweet the whole time.
And follow me, Felix Supreme 305 on Twitter.
All our links will be in the description. Follow the podcast every Monday, 9 a.m. Follow our gaming channel, TFTC Gaming. Make sure you follow TFTC Clips for the people that like podcasts but don't have time. We clip out our show so you could only watch the short clips.
We got like 10 clips coming out this week, so I'm going to need y'all to, get ready
clip it up.
Cut it.
But we'll see you in the next Star Wars video. Y'all have a good one.
Hey, catch me on the flip side.